Karen Armstrong, 12 Steps to a Compassionate Life. In an often uncompassionate world filled with atrocities and inequality, 12 Steps to a Compassionate Life by Karen Armstrong aims to guide readers in cultivating compassion within themselves and their communities. The book explores the intricacies of compassion and highlights how our brains are hardwired for both selfishness and empathy. Drawing from various religious and philosophical traditions such as Buddhism, Confucianism, and Greek philosophy, Armstrong outlines a 12-step program aimed at replacing egotism, prejudices, and self-righteousness with a compassionate mindset. This introduction offers readers a glimpse into the program's structure and how understanding compassion can ultimately transform their lives and contribute to a more empathetic society.
The power of compassion. Compassion, defined as enduring suffering with someone, is rooted in our brains and can be cultivated through the Golden Rule. Philanthropists and civil rights activists used compassion to drive change. The new brain, which governs our reasoning and compassion, is in conflict with the old reptilian brain. The following 12 steps can help cultivate compassion in our lives. The Compassionate Life. The book provides a 12-step program on cultivating compassion to replace egotism, prejudices, violence, and self-righteousness. These steps are not to be rushed and must become a daily routine. The program is based on traditional teachings of compassion found in Buddhism, Confucianism, and Greek philosophical rationalism. By immersing oneself in these teachings, one can refocus the mind and create distance between their compassionate self and destructive instincts. The book emphasizes that the transformation is slow and incremental but achievable with discipline and practice. Steps to a Compassionate Life. The path to a compassionate life has 3 steps: looking at the world around us with compassion, extending that compassion to our own community, and practicing self-compassion. The second step involves assessing the strengths and weaknesses of our community to bring about positive change. The hero in every culture is the one who transforms his people's lives by first analyzing their problems. We should apply this analysis to our own lives and identify the compassionate values that can improve our society. The third step focuses on practicing self-compassion. We need to acknowledge our positive qualities and achievements while taking responsibility for our mistakes. Treating ourselves harshly impairs our ability to extend compassion to others. Through these 3 steps, we can learn to lead a more compassionate life. Tragedy and empathy. This book discusses how tragedy helps us understand and feel compassion for others, and how empathy is fundamental to leading a compassionate life. The author explores how ancient Greek dramas, such as Oedipus, teach us to identify and suffer with tragic heroes and how mindfulness meditation can help us be more present and compassionate. By opening our hearts to the suffering of others and recognizing the fleeting nature of our negative thoughts, we can cultivate empathy and lead a more fulfilling life. The book argues that empathy is essential to the path of enlightenment and urges readers to practice mindfulness to foster greater awareness and compassion. Cultivating Compassion. The 6th and 7th steps to living a compassionate life involve cherishing small acts of kindness and being aware of our limited knowledge of others. These small gestures can have a profound impact on others, and we should approach people with an open mind instead of making assumptions based on our experiences. Wisdom lies in recognizing that we know very little, which can help us enter into another's perspective and appreciate the mystery of those we encounter. Compassionate Discourse. Human beings often use language to undermine one another, hindering individuals from developing compassion. Whereas the 8th step to a compassionate life focuses on developing friendly discourse, the 9th step transcends this by advocating concern to everyone. Tribalism's strong loyalty once ensured survival benefits. However, in today's globalized and modernized society, tribalism may as well lead to terrorism and war. It is essential to recognize outsiders' perspectives and remind ourselves that everyone deserves compassion and understanding. Seek knowledge, expand compassion. As we seek a compassionate life, we must challenge our perspectives and seek knowledge from diverse sources. We must use our newfound knowledge and compassion to discover our mission, like Christina Noble did in advocating for homeless children in Vietnam. The journey to a compassionate life involves expanding our scope of compassion beyond our immediate circle. To achieve this, the seventh step urges us to acknowledge the limitations of our perspective and seek to fill the gaps in our knowledge. This means challenging our assumptions and seeking out alternative viewpoints from diverse sources, as exemplified by studying Islamic history from sources that challenge preconceived notions. The 11th step involves using our knowledge and compassion to discover our personal mission, as demonstrated by Christina Noble's experience in advocating for homeless children in Vietnam. In seeking out moments of recognition where we can connect our own pain with that of others, we can find our own unique way to make a difference in the world. By seeking knowledge and expanding our compassion, we can become agents of positive change in the world and fulfill our mission to make a meaningful impact. Compassion for enemies. Tribalism may no longer make sense in our global society, and the final step toward a compassionate life is to develop empathy for our enemies. This involves filling in knowledge gaps and examining their context and condition to identify their suffering. The goal is to transform animosity into compassion and emulate the efforts of those who have overcome political divisions through shared suffering and understanding. The most crucial element is actively listening to the enemy's story without interruption or doubt.
12 Steps to a Compassionate Life provides readers with a thoughtful and practical framework for fostering compassion within themselves and the world around them. By combining insights from ancient wisdom, neuroscience, and contemporary examples, Armstrong's 12 Steps encourage the reader to reflect critically on their own actions and perceptions, engage in empathetic dialogue, and challenge preconceived notions about the world and its inhabitants. By embarking on this journey, readers can develop a greater understanding of themselves and others, cultivating a compassionate life that transcends societal divisions and contributes to a more harmonious and just world.